Hello, everyone. This is Mali here. Welcome back to my channel. All right. Just in the setup, I'm a little bit squeezed between my canvas and my camera. But anyhow, I hope you can hear me and you can see me. Please leave a comment down below to let me know that everything's good on your end. So it's another Monday night, and I'm going to demo a new portrait. So again, welcome back, and enjoy the show. So let's do this. So I'm going to spend more time drawing tonight. The resolution of the picture is not the best. It's kind of blurry. And I also wanted to show you how to sketch before painting. For those who've been following me, you know how I usually start directly by sketching with paint. So tonight I want to show you how to sketch with a little piece of charcoal here. So it doesn't change my process. I'm still going to place the size of the face. So I have here the chin. This will be the forehead and the hair. I think it's dark enough on the screen, so you should be able to see my my charcoal lines. So I wanted to spend more time on placing the eyes, the nose, and the mouth. Even if it's going to be a loose painting, it never hurts to spend more time on the drawing. So I think you can see, right? Let me zoom in a little bit more. There we go. So, as always, I place the eye line, the nose line, and the mouth line. I will follow the same process when I paint. I will work on the eyes after the nose. I'm not gonna sketch the glasses because I will paint the skin first. Let the skin dry before I paint the glasses. I want to draw tonight to be more precise. Like that. So my channel, youtube.com/drawingpaintwithmali, is dedicated to teach you how to draw and paint better by teaching you to approach any subject with confidence. I keep saying that if you follow the process, you'll get somewhere. So at this time, I focus more on portraits. That was my goal for the past 10 weeks, I think. One portrait per week, maybe more. And I still have 6 portraits. So the idea was to paint a portrait of each one of my students, or if they're camera shy, it could be the portrait, the headshot of someone they know. So I should have done that first. This is the portrait of Stella, who sadly crossed the rainbow a few months ago. So she's one of my students' son's mother-in-law. And let's honor her memory. By doing this portrait and gifting it to the family. That's enough. I think I have the right height, the right width. I place the nose line, the eye line, and the mouth here. The likeness should be fine. The features are in proportion. So I think I'm ready to paint. So give me 1 minute. For those who don't know, this is my palette. I'm going to use just a few colors. So give me 1 minute. Grabbing my paint here. For my portraits and most of my paintings, most subjects I paint, I always use the same colors, so I know what I get by mixing them. So there's no surprise. Again, it's a matter of following the process. I hope you can hear me well because I have the fan going on. It's hot but bearable inside the studio. It's very hot outside. So, as always, I'm using titanium white, lemon yellow, vermilion red. It's red-orange, very bright. I've never met Stella, but a print never comes out right. So I don't think she's that orangey. Just more like a yellow tones. So now it's burnt sienna. I will also need a little bit of burnt umber and ultramarine. Burnt umber. Ultramarine. So these are the colors I use most of the time for different subjects. And then once in a while, I'll get bright colors if needed. All right. So what do I need next? With or without the sketch, I want to place the main features. So I usually start with the nose. It's right in the middle of the face, so I can measure the distances. Nose, forehead, nose, chin, nose, jaws, nose, ears. Even if it's a loose painting, I still want to make sure that I have the right distances. So the reason I go over my sketch with paint is to fix the paint. Otherwise, if I paint directly, my colors will be dirty because of the charcoal blending with my colors. So let me check. I hope it's clear enough. Let me adjust that just in case. There you go. I think it's clear enough. Now that the eyes, the nose, and the mouth are fixed, I'm going to paint a light coat of skin tone, so I'm not distracted by those lines from the underlayer. So just the first pass, and also the colors will stick better to this first pass. I don't need the eyebrows. I'll paint that later. So I paint with confidence, not because I have painted portraits my whole life, but also because, like I said, I trust the process. I know I'll get somewhere good enough, and then I can paint more details from there. Not only I tell students to trust the process, but also to not going for perfection, like the right colors and the details. Instead, paint what I call a draft. It's something very loose. This first pass, second pass allows you to experiment the colors and also adjusting all the time the width, the height, even if your drawing looks 80% or 90% correct, there's always something you could miss. So I place my colors to have an idea of what I'm going to play with. I think I could even do that. Just a little bit of dark values here. And although you're supposed to paint, you're supposed to, I would paint the light values last. I'm still going to do a quick wash, whitish, grayish on the hair. So if you follow the process, you should get something like that easily, if not quickly. So that's the first step. Excuse me. Let me get some water. I mean, water for me. I have the water to paint. So that's the first step. Sketch with charcoal, placement of the eyes, the nose, the mouth, the size of the face. Quick pass or rough block in with the base colors. And now let's start refining everything. So refining for me means that I'm going back to where I started. The eyes first, eyes second, mouth third. So refining means adjusting all the shapes, the color, give dimension to the nose with the highlights and the shadows. Everything at the same time. Even if it's a loose style, I still want to make sure that I place the get the right shapes, and then I place the reflections to give the right structure for the nose, and all that will lead me to the right, the likeness. So I like the lighting. As first I thought, well, it's kind of flat. There's not really a dimension to the face, but then, as you can see, the light source is on this side, slightly above, so it creates a nice shadow on the left side. So it's all good. So the picture is not the sharpest, but that's okay, because if you do that, you won't be tempted to draw and paint and try to paint all the details. And also, if you draw and paint from life, the subject keeps moving a little bit, so it's never clear and sharp. You hear me drink? Sorry about that. It's been a hot day. Like I said, I work on everything at the same time. I'm going to adjust the tip of the nose. All right, leave a comment below if you know what I'm going to paint next. Okay? Let's see who listened to the process. Come on, don't be shy. Leave a comment and let me know. All right, let's see here. So as I do that, I always look at the, hold on, I need to grab something. So as I refine, I always look at the big picture, all right? If you focus too much on one small area, you're gonna think that you do the right, you have the right proportion, shape, colors. But then when you step back and you compare the size, say, the size of the nose with the size of the eyes or the head, the nose might be too big or too small. So again, keep it loose to start with, so it will be consistent. All right. The eyes are very small here, so let's use a small brush. So if you've never paid attention, the white of the eyes, it's never white. It always reflects the other colors, and then it depends on the lighting. So here, that's fine. I check the distance between the eyes and the nose, like that. It's good. I'm going to paint the irises. Also, when I see something like the natural here, I see something that is not right, I fix it right away so I don't forget. All right, so I start to have the expression here. Let's make the eyes a little bit bigger. And now I can outline the eyes so they're more defined. I'm going to place the eyelids. I think they're very important. It's part of her expression. That's good. Now let's adjust the skin tone around the eyes. So always remember that the paint dries slightly darker. So I have to be careful for this portrait. I don't want to give her black eyes. So my technique is to overlap multiple strokes. with different colors and different values. Not necessarily blend them, because I need some highlights like here to give dimension to the face. Okay, I think I'm on the right track for the expression with the eyes. I keep checking at the distances between the eyes, corner of the eyes, nose. I think it's fine. So next, the smile. The smile. So first, let's define the width. So the corners of the mouth. The left side lines up with the middle of the iris. So it's going to be about here. And the other side is the same thing. So my sketch was good enough. I won't have much to adjust. I place roughly the shape of the mouth with the upper lip. Before that, I'm going to draw the teeth. So I don't think, I'm not sure you see that on the screen, but I can actually see her teeth, despite the shadow of the lips. So I'm going to have to imagine they're grayish. A bit more white than what's on the print. Oh, let's adjust that. There you go. You might see better now. Yes. With the light ring, I think it's better. So I don't know if Jerry is watching tonight. But usually when she watches, she sketches at the same time, even though the picture is small on the screen. So she's been sketching the past 5, 6 portraits. Feel free to do the same. It's almost like you sketch from life. All right, so now step back and I check again the distances, the shapes, the width, the height. All right, it's not too bad. Oh, I need to take a photo. So that's one thing I tell every week my students, take a photo of the work in progress. So you remember what you did on day 1. And you'll see all the changes you made. It's very useful now that we have the technology. And strangely, you see on your phone, on the screen, you see better what didn't work. So it helps a lot. All right, I'm going to keep making small adjustments here and there. Here, the lips go up. Let's give more dimension here with the crease on this side. So now let's cover more the face. This is too brown here, so I'm gonna fix that. I see a little bit more of yellow. And some pink, a little bit of pink for the cheeks. Because the shadows aren't strong, now what am I saying? Even if the shadows aren't strong, I still want to place them at this stage to work on the dimension of the face. So I'm placing the shadows, and then next I place the highlights. So I'll do that multiple times until the end. One stroke at a time, one highlight at a time. Let's cover the forehead better. All right. Adjust the color here. So there's too much burnt sienna. I'm going to go for more yellow ochre, especially here on this side. It's too brown. I could maybe slider. There you go. That's better. So next, I like to, what I call, frame the face, frame the chin and the top of the head as well. So I'm going to paint the neck for that. I look at the distances again. It's a little bit shorter than my sketch. Right, that's better. Right. So it's a loose style that I'm showing you, but it's actually my, I use the same process for more detailed paintings. I've learned to simplify my process. So that's why 10 years ago, I would have never painted like that. I was going for the details right away at the beginning of the painting. But I found that it's just more interesting to paint by building different layers. I have more richer colors, more interesting color variations, different textures. So I'll probably do differently if it were a child or a baby, because then I'll have to keep the skin very soft. But I like the technique I use to paint adults and elderly people. There's a depth that I create with the different layers. And also I keep this style, the painting painterly. I could, of course, turn this into a photorealistic portrait, but it's not the goal of this demo and or for my personal work. So this noise is my office chair. I roll back and forth to look at the painting from a distance and I see better where to make the different adjustments. All right. So what have I been doing all this time? I've been adding layers of darks and lights to give dimension to the face. That's very important. And then I'm going to refine more now. Like here, the creases. scratch my wood panel. So if it's your first time here, I've been painting all these portraits on a 1/4-inch thick wood panel. It's gessoed. There's one side that is smooth and one is slightly more rough. I like the way my brush slides on the surface. All right. I now need to add more hair. I want to have this grayish tone. It's not just white, so I think it goes well with the skin color. Now, just some white. So again, my demos is to encourage you to do the same. See if you get there at this stage here easily. Well, you can be proud of yourself. And from there, you can do more. If you get there, it means for me, it means that you follow the process and you got to a good portrait, or the fancy word for it is a portrait study. You'll get to a decent study. And from there, you can refine and add more and more details. Because I'm working on the expression now, I'm going to place the eyebrows with a smaller brush. So this basically makeup, so you don't want to paint lines. You want to suggest 2 lines for the eyebrows. So before that, you want to check the distance. Okay, it lines up with the corner of the eye. Place it right there, and then past the corner of the eye, and about this high, above the eyelid. So there's a lot of space between the eye and the eyebrow because she has big eyelids. So I'll do that. I don't want to make it too dark. I don't want it to dry and even darker, so I'm very careful. Because then if it's too dark, I'll have to paint again the forehead and again the eyebrows. So make sure that I won't have to do that, or I won't have to do that too much. All right. So before I do more, I'm going to check again and again and again. Height, width, the jaws. because I want to paint more the black outfit to bring more contrast. So it's going to be somewhere. It's loose, it's not precise, but it needs a darker color than just this brown. So my technique to make black is to mix ultramarine blue and raw umber. I get a dark gray. It's perfect, and I don't have to use black, any black, straight from the tube. There you go. So that gives a nice contrast between the black outfit, the skin tone, and the gray-white hair. So some artists would consider this done. To me, it's done. It's not done. Let's see. Let's move this a little bit so you can see better. You don't need to see so much of my my palette. There you go. It's a little bit closer. Let me check if it's still in focus. Is it? All right, I feel that's better. All right, so guess what? Let's refine a little bit more. Right? So it's a loose style. But I want to place a few colors here and there, some highlights here and there. So I think I was afraid to give her black eyes, but it turned out good. I don't think it needs to be darker. Plus, with the glasses, they might look even darker. So before painting the glasses, because at some point I'm gonna have to paint them anyway. So I don't need to paint more than that around the eyes, right? Because then it will be, what matters is the eyebrows, the forehead, the cheeks. So I'm just gonna refine the eyes and the outline, and then I'll paint the glasses. Glasses is always challenging. Just define a little bit more here. I double check my distances. Always. Just short lines. Now do the same thing on this side. Just this eyelid going down like that. This one is more regular. Like she's squinting at you. There. Let's do the eyelid on this side. So I can't really see who's watching, but if you're new here, yeah, for some reason the chat doesn't display on my iPad. So if you're new here, feel free to leave a comment. If you have any questions, I can't answer your questions while I paint. But I will after a demo. All right, so I look at my reference photo. I think the expression is right. The shape of the eyes, it's good. I need some reddish here. Water, reddish. I don't want this corner to be too dark. So 1 drop of vermilion here. Should be just fine. His eyes a little bit more close. And here need more white. Otherwise she's not looking at me. Adjust again the eyelid. There you go, that's better. Okay, so now the rest should be easy. Now I'm going to take a deep breath and paint the glasses. So before doing something like that, again, double check the eyes, the skin, the shadows, the eyebrows, it's fine. And I'm going to start with a light brown, or maybe light gray, right? So I'm going to place the left side the right side, the left side, the right side. Right? Don't try to do that at once. It never works. Okay, so that's now gonna, just like we did for the face, height, width. What's that? So I look at the distance between the corner of the eye and how much space I have here. Should be fine. Same thing on the right side. It lines up with the nose. Right there. And I'll do the same thing. So it looks like the frame is halfway between the nose and the eye. There you go. Basically, it's like connecting the dots. I place all my dots. This cuts the eyelid and goes there. I place all my dots and I connect them. So you can really see that, you know, there's a piece of glass, obviously a bit fuzzy. I might do that later. And now I can connect my dots. So short lines to control the distances, the shapes, and the curves. Like that. Needless to say, you have to make sure that the expression is there before you paint the glasses. Otherwise, you'll have to paint the skin again. All right. So I did the glass. I need more white. So I drew the outline, the frame completely. Because I'm just going to now duplicate the same shape, width and height on the right side. It's a loose painting, so you know you can only be do your best to be precise. So that's why I didn't place my dots on this side. I'm going to do it right now, so it lines up here with the nose. So that's my mark here. In water. Curves. It's about the same level, so I'm gonna have one dot there, and then it starts to curve right there. It blends with the line of the eyelid. And then I look at the distance between the corner of the eye and the hair. And before connecting my dots, I look at the width, the height, make sure it's about the same shape. All right, let's do that now. I connect the dots. Short strokes. They're about the same size. It can only be about, you know, that's good. Okay. So if I look at my phone, I want to take another picture. So Jerry, if you're watching, I hope you like it. Now the reflection is very light. And it's going to dry darker anyway. I'll do the same thing on the right side. So that's one thing I learned painting on the wood panel is how the colors darken a little bit. Okay, so I need to check now the ears. I look at the distance here, so I think I have enough as the right distance. I think the eye, like I said, I look at the big picture and then when I see something that is not right, I'll fix it right away so I don't forget. This eye can be a little bit smaller. Okay, now it's too small, so I'm going to fix that. All right, now let's place that. Some blackish rectangle. I'm going to finish the glasses by connecting them to the ears. Oops, too gray. Before doing that, of course, I checked if the ear was the right size. It might be a little bit big, but I can adjust that by painting some skin through the hair. I'm going to finish the glasses before painting the mouth. So if I don't talk, it's because I step back or I squint and I double check everything. There we go. Again, even if it's a loose painting, I still want to make the get the distances right. Okay. All right, the expression of the eyes right. Now let's work on the teeth and then the lips. So the teeth are a little bit too bright. I'm going to turn them down with white and raw umber. The width of the mouth is fine. So let's outline the teeth. It's going to be a light brown. These aren't cartoon teeth, obviously, so just have to find the right value. See, that's too much already, but it shows you that I'm going to show you that I can fix that. Just need to go back to my light brownish and cover more the short vertical lines I did. So you still see them, but they're not strong. They're not noticeable, really. All right, let's clean a little bit more the teeth here on the right side. So this loose technique, you don't take any risk trying to paint something realistic. It allows you to practice, experiment, color mixing. And you have a better understanding of what you can do with just a few colors. All right, so the teeth are good. And let's adjust the lips now. Because of the lighting, the upper lip is slightly darker. The light always hits the forehead, above the eyebrows, the nose, the cheeks, above the mouth, the lower lip, and the chin. Which explains why the upper lip is always slightly darker than the lower lip. All right, now let's paint the lower lip. Right. I need more red. So what I noticed, okay, I need to move that because on the screen, it looks like, yeah, the face looks more distorted than what it is. I hope it's because of the lens. There's nothing I can do about that. All right, that's better. Is it still in focus? Let's check. Well, and this allows you to see my strokes, how they overlap, you know. You see the strokes on the wood panel. There you go. That's pretty much all you need to see, you know. I think you've seen what I do with my, with my colors on my palette. So, what was I doing? Yes. The lower lip. So it's a reddish, it's a pinkish reddish lipstick. I'll paint the whole lip. Before painting the reflection. So I hope this face is easy to sketch for you, Jerry, since you are since it's a familiar face. Corner. All right, so let's paint more of the crease. It's dark enough to give dimension to the cheek. There you go. More a line right there. Two small lines. All right. Oops. So I'm going to finish the forehead. Give it more dimension before painting the chin, the jaws, and the neck. So I really clean my brush perfectly between two colors. So what I did here, I left some brownish with my white, and then by dragging the two colors together, I somehow leave some brownish, and that's how I paint the wrinkles. So they're more natural looking because they blend with the white. And if I want to see them more, I just add a little bit of brown. So it takes practice to do that, but it's more natural than painting a light color and then paint the brown lines on top. Here they're blended. Not to mention that I don't want, I want just enough wrinkles. Oops, probably too yellow. By leaving other colors on your brush, I create more color variations, richer colors, and also good textures. Yeah, I highlight above the eyebrows. I highlight more the forehead to show a little bit more of the wrinkles. So I don't have to paint the wrinkles. I paint above and below the wrinkles. So they show between my strokes and they look more natural. So it's even more tricky because everything has to go fast. You also have to make sure they are in the right spot. I want to soften this reflection here. Refine more the shape here of the head. I think that's the right shape, like that. I make sure the forehead is not too high. I need to paint more forehead. Here, oops, too yellow. That's the shadow on the hair. All right. So I think that's fine for the, it's good enough for the forehead. Okay, the cheeks are a little bit flat. Need to be more round here. So a little bit of pink, just enough pink. There you go. So that's for the makeup, but without the makeup, they still look a little bit flat. So I'm going to show you how what's missing. So there's less flat, for sure, but dry paint there. We're missing this shadow. Okay, the muscle of the cheek. Going towards the ear. So if I add that, the cheek will be more round. Again, make sure that it's not too brown. Mix burnt umber and burnt sienna, just right there. There you go. Well, let this dry and see what happens. I will do the same thing on the other side, just like that. Let's adjust the ear now. So the lobe is lower and bigger. It's going to be more like that. There you go. That's better. Oops. Thicker, more straight right there. Yes, that's better. All right, let's continue the jaws. Look at the distance between the corner of the mouth and the jaw. Just like that. So it might be too dark, but it's better to continue the same color down to the jaw instead of changing the color in between. It would be harder to make adjustments. I look at the distance here, lips, jaw, chin. I think this is smaller here, so I might have to paint more of the jacket. All right, that's better. It's too pink, so let's go back to the burnt sienna. Burnt umber, so it's not too brown. Let's make it more yellowish. It's like some kind of dirty yellow. So what do you do when the paint dries fast? So I always use water. I don't like very much the slow drying mediums. But one thing to never do is use a spray bottle. I've seen that. Even experienced artists doing that. They actually let the paint dry. I've seen that in person. They let the paint dry on their palette, and then the day after, they spray with water to make the paint soft again. So that's the wrong thing to do. I won't even argue about that because that's a fact. From the manufacturer. So technically you can only add up to 25-30% of water to your paint. That is if you paint on canvas, right? On paper, that's fine because the paper absorbs the colors and keep your layers together. But on a canvas, it's going to make all the ingredients, the pigments and the binder, more fragile. So they won't stick properly. The colors in the layers won't stick properly. They won't stay together. And they won't stick to the canvas. Which leads to, guess what? Cracking, or the paint would peel off. So don't do that. Either spray or adding a lot of water to your colors. If you need more time, well, get either retarder or slow drying medium. It's going to give you a few seconds or sometimes minute to move your colors around. I like when it dries fast, even though it's challenging, like when it's hot or when the fan is on. But that's okay, otherwise I won't be doing this demo, or I'll find a different way. All right, so far so good. We're on schedule. It's what, 7 past 7? I just need to fix the jaw on the right side. Oh, sorry about that. I'm hiding what I'm doing. You're not supposed to see my jaw on the screen. So glad I found a different way to set up my my DSLR, because now I can, it's not on a tripod anymore and I don't bump into the tripod. I can get closer to the canvas. That's why you just see my face. So it's given me more freedom, more space. All right, so I need to make this side a little bit wider, or adjust the curve maybe. I think it's more the curve. There you go. It's more like that. It goes out, so it was just this curve right there. And now we need to pin more sweater. All right, so now I'm gonna pin the hair. I think that's too much hair. That's why she looks like, maybe that's also, it looks like it's distorted. I mean, it's not too much, but the distortion is not too bad. Okay, so there's more hair on this side. We're gonna paint more. It's a tad of yellow. It's not just green. No, it's not just gray, I'm sorry. I want green, that's why I said green, but I really use yellow, but sometimes, like in this case, in the shadows, you can add green to your browns. It makes the skin tone look more natural. I don't think I need it there, but if I were doing something more precise, I would probably add one pinch of green to my brown here. Okay, the shape of the hair is better. So from the lobe, it's a curve like that. I look at the width. I look at the distance here. It looks good. I was afraid that was too high, but I think that's where it should be. So you can see that gray hair, white hair is not white. Again, it reflects everything that is around it. So that's why I'm using the underlayer. And my first pass, there's some greenish that shows through my strokes and between my strokes. So not only it creates more depth, but it also gives more dimension because of the colors underneath. See, I'm adding more skin here. You see it through. There's a line here, a shadow, I call that a shadow. So that's something easy to do. Of course, you want to practice, but that's the idea. I use more optical illusion than trying to get the exact colors or textures. I check if it's the right width, the right height. The wrinkles could be softer. I can adjust that later. I think I have the right shape for the hair. So I'm not going to do too much on the hair, but I wanted to show you how to create textures and dimension, although it's just basically light green, no, gray. What am I saying? Gray and almost white. So that's how I do it. That's what I like to do. Painting over the previous layers, but let the colors and textures show between my strokes or through my strokes. Needless to say, once I paint the background, the hair will stand out more. Okay, so now let's work on the strands here. So scratch gently. So you can see the strands, but also the skin. Since it's very loose, I'm not using a small brush. So Jerry, I hope your sketch is going well. Can't wait to see it. Let's finish this side. So once again, if you follow the process, you'll get somewhere and you'll be fine. I use the same colors because I know what I'll get eventually or at some point during the process. That's also why you don't want to go for the details right away. Keep working the same way. You can't go wrong, and then you make small adjustments, one stroke at a time. Let's do a little bit more here. All right, now the earrings. I'm still gonna paint them, although even if the background is not painted, but even if I paint the background over it, that's an easy fix. So I look at the distance again, corner of the mouth, jaw, that's the bottom, the width, the height, and then just 2 small curves for the reflections. There, above, there. Okay, that's, I think I'm done. So usually I spend 30, 45 extra minutes to make the adjustments. Like I'm facing my painting, so it's easier to make the adjustments. So for her, shouldn't take that long. It shouldn't take too long to make the adjustments. Okay, we still have 10 minutes. I hope you learned something. This portrait was actually simpler than the one I did last week. So that's the thing you have to be careful here, not overdo it, especially the, the shadows. Yeah, I have to let this dry. Anyhow, I hope you liked the demo. Give it a thumbs up, and please hit the bell icon. That's the notification button. So whenever I upload a new video, you'll get notified. So if you want to support me, spread the word. Tell your friends to subscribe. It's free. It helps me a lot. I still need over 600 subscribers before I can start monetizing my channel. So I appreciate your support again. So tell your friends that they don't even have to watch the videos. You just to support what I do. I don't want to show that too much. I know it's there, but it's always nice to not, emphasize. Although I love wrinkles, I think wrinkles are beautiful. But in general, people don't like to see their wrinkles, so I try to soften them as much as possible. So here, again, by blending two colors at the same time, I suggest them, and it's good just enough. So I'm going to spend the last 5 minutes making subtle adjustments here and there, reflections, shadows, highlights. Oh, and speaking of reflections, I still need to paint the ones on the eyes. Some pinkish right there. Reflections, more yellow. All right, reflections. Here's the tip, and then place right there. You don't want the reflection to be too strong. Looks like it's the reflection of the flash. So I want to make it look like it's just natural reflection. That's why I don't make it too bright. Let's adjust that. And I think I'm gonna call it a night. I will paint the background later, and then of course I will share the finished painting on my Facebook page. So my personal, but also the Draw and Paint with Miley Facebook page. So the plan is to paint more, to share more tutorials. Once I'm done with this series of portraits. See here what defines more the jaws. So you can follow me on Facebook, Instagram as well, and you learn more and more. All right, I think that's good enough for tonight. Yes. So I hope, Jerry, you like it. I hope you learned something. I'm going to say goodbye here. I don't know if you can see me. I'm stuck between the painting and the... All right. So thank you again for watching. Thanks a million for your support. And I will see you next time. Good night.